Hello everyone, and welcome to 11 Charlie Scale Modeling. In today's video, we are going to be building the Academy M1151 Enhanced Armament Carrier Humvee. This is an up-armored Humvee kit that I am really excited about building. I actually got to drive one of these a few times in Iraq, which was kind of a scary situation. Only because these things don't hold up real well with IEDs, and it was kind of sketchy driving around in Baghdad in one of these, considering I was a striker guy, but I still did. I also did gun this a few times as well in Iraq, but we're going to build this, and I'm going to be adding a few extra things to this from some other kits, and I'm gonna bring you guys along on the journey. I don't know if this is gonna be multi-part video or if this is gonna be a single part video, but I hope you guys enjoy this. Let's get building. Alright, let's go ahead and open this kit up. Get everything organized and get started. So the sprues are a different color than the other kits that we worked with the trumpeter. These are actually a tan color, which is cool. We've got some figures. I don't believe I'll be using at least the gunner because he doesn't have a helmet on, and that's just not accurate. You just don't drive around in a combat zone without a helmet. The driver does appear to have a helmet, but that's whatever. So we got the top of the Humvee, got the inside hull of the Humvee, the hood, got the front, and got some, got the 50 cal. I never gunned a 50 cal even on the Humvee. I did use a Mark 19, but I might still use the 50 cal on this one because we did have a 50 cal Humvee set up at Cop K-Wall, and I just never was, I didn't do security on that one for some reason. Here's an undercarriage and the tires, or the hubs. Here's the tires, the tire parts down here. Got the windows, of course, and all the other accoutrement pieces and stuff down here. We got decals, of course, we got the instructions, and then some other stuff down here as well. So, very cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started on this kit and have a good time. Okay, so we are starting on the lower chassis of the build, and there is going to be a lot of time lapse in this because the main part of this video is not about the build itself. I really want to showcase the paint and the final product of the Humvee build portion. I'm trying to make these videos, at least some of my videos, not 3 to 4 parts long. In a series. I'd like to do some videos to be 2 parts, and that's what I'm doing with this one. So I'm gonna kind of time lapse through the build, and then we're gonna get to the painting part and try to finish this video up in full as far as the build itself and getting the Humvee done. And then we're gonna, the second part of this series of the advanced or enhanced armament carrier is going to be the diorama that goes on it, which is really cool. So just bear with me. I apologize for the time lapse, but there you go. Also, while I'm at it, let me go ahead and let you know this was recorded well before I got my new workbench in my office. So it's being filmed on my now strictly computer desk. Bear with me. Once we get through some of this older footage and older builds, we'll be going to a newer area, which is my new workbench, and the videos should be a lot better. So that's coming. Just bear with me. I do have to say, I was very impressed with Academy's kit. This was my first Academy build, and their sprues, their quality was very nice. It was actually very pleasant build to put together. The directions were very good. This was a great kit. I was very, very impressed. The quality, honestly, was much better than Trumpeter by leaps and bounds. And up until this point, that was the only that was really all the experience that I had was with Trumpeter kits. So really, really pleased, and I have to really shout out Academy for this kit. It was very nice, very pleasant to build. So I highly recommend it. As you can see here, I'm putting the kit wheels on, but I'm not gluing them down. I decided I didn't like those and ended up ordering some aftermarket resin wheels, which you'll see later on in the video, and they've turned out to be a lot better. I was pretty pleased with the detail inside the actual cab of the Humvee. Very nice, very well done. Good job, Academy. I like the look of it, all the buttons on the radio systems, and also the driver's side. Very cool. I just wish it would be a little bit more visible with the way I built this, but it is what it is. Okay, so for whatever reason, my 50 cal machine gun was not included with this kit. It's gone. There's a piece of sprue broken off and it just isn't there. And that is, the 50 cal is sprue G1. This is G, and I have 2 through 33, but no G1. So I don't know where it's at. I've got everything except that. So I'm gonna have to use a 50 cal from a different kit. This is from the AFV Striker additional kit, pieces kit, so hopefully this will work. We'll make it work. That sucks. Once all the parts were assembled, it was time to go ahead and do a primer coat, and I primed all the pieces in a black primer coat. This allows me to go ahead and bring out some shadows that I will be able to show through the paint later on when I get the rest of the coats on, which you'll see later on. Also, you can tell that I have my aftermarket wheels already installed. They are not attached, but they are just stuck on the axles, and they look so much better than the included wheels. I'm very, very pleased with them. After everything's primed and dry, I do a little bit of white pre-shading. Once the highlights are done, I go ahead and install the doors that are going to be remaining closed, at least the ones that I think will be, and get them installed in the right place and glue them down. I then take a color that I decided to choose for my Humvee, which was Iraqi sand, and I lightly go over the whole entire Humvee, making sure not to overspray and overdo it so the highlights underneath and shadows underneath don't get overwhelmed. So I chose NATO green for the interior of my Humvee. All the Humvees that I've ever been in are usually painted NATO green or olive drab. It's usually NATO green, so that's what I chose. But you'll see later on that I decided to give it some character, I chose to paint the seats more of an olive drab to give it a more of a used look. But just take care when you're painting this so you don't overspray and get paint on the paint you got on the outside. I didn't mask anything like I should have, so I did have to do some touch up. Also, I did not do the trunk area because it was going to be covered anyway, and there was really no point. I did a little bit of detail work on some of the knobs on the radios, as well as the Blue Force tracker screen and the shifter knobs inside the Humvee, just for a little extra detail in case you're looking in the open door that I had on there, and it turned out really nice. Now that all the wheels have been painted, it's time to install the 3D printed wheels that I ordered. I was only received a set of 4, so I didn't have enough for the spare tire. The spare tire ended up being one of the kit wheels, and that's okay. As you can see in this part of the clip, the spare tire is still sitting on the spare tire swing arm on the back, but that's going to change shortly because it was being a pain in the butt, and I also didn't like the spare tire sitting out so far back. Our Humvees did not have this, and you'll see that I end up making a modification because here at 11 Charlie Scale Modeling, I never do things the way the directions say, and it's going to turn out way better, so just stay tuned on that one. Now that most of the painting was done, it was time to start building a crew, and in order for me to do that, I had to kit bash so many different kits to make it work. I can't even tell you how many kits I ended up using to get the crew to actually work correctly, and it actually turned out well. So this is kind of a conglomeration of building the crew as well as some of the other things you're going to see shortly. But this is the driver that I ended up coming up with, and he turned out really well. So as I said earlier, I ended up doing some olive drab on the seats. It just gives it a little bit more of a contrast, and it really makes those seats look a lot more worn. You could go a little bit further if you wanted to and do some, quote, chipping to show some more worn wear pattern in the fabric if you wanted to. But I didn't go to that extreme because there's going to be, well, at this time there was going to be one door open but eventually in the build there's going to be 2 full doors open, and it's going to still be dark in there no matter what, so you're not going to be able to see too much in there, but I still want to have a little bit of detail showing, so that's why I did this. And I'll also do some touch-ups inside too of some paint that needed to get done too. So I just finished painting the antenna, my first antenna I've ever put on a kit so far. Painted it olive drab because there was a lot of olive drab antennas on tan Humvees in Iraq, and I think it came out awesome. Looks really, really good. So I did a little bit of painting off camera of the driver and got him went ahead and put him in the driver's seat, and also took his service rifle and stuck him beside him, and went ahead and glued it down. It's just because you'd always have your rifle close to you so you could grab it. And as you can see too, there is also a rhino mount installed. I also built that off camera. It's a lot of photo etch, kind of a pain in the butt, and want to kind of keep this a family friendly episode, so I didn't want to have all that language on here. But anyway, it's turning out really good. Now it's time to start building the rest of the crew. I want a full 5-man crew for this build, and I'm using a couple of different kits, including the Man Down kit by Master Box Ltd. Okay, so I went ahead and attached the door because I needed to make sure that this individual sat in it, and his leg actually fits underneath the door like that, which is a pretty natural position. I've sat in Humvees like that myself, and it looks like he is calling on the radio. He does have his hand in a position like he's holding a rifle. And the way he's holding it is straight out. Now I can adjust it to where he's holding it up. We could do that. That's the way it is in the directions to this kit. I might change that. I gotta see. But I do like the position that he's sitting in. That's great. I do need to do some painting. I need to paint the inside of this door. For whatever reason, that one didn't get painted green for some reason. I don't know why. I missed that one. I did accidentally break the door handle off on the inside too, and I can't find the piece that broke off, which really sucks. Kind of upset about that, but it's just part of modeling. Sometimes you break it if you're not real careful. So that's frustrating. So right now we have a driver, a vehicle commander, and now a gunner, which is great. But the detail work is starting to come along. We got the lights are all done on the front. We've got the little grill on the front darkened up. I went ahead and darkened up the front bumper. Give it some contrast. Back bumpers contrasted. These are probably going to be black, most likely, but all the lights in the back and the sides are done, which is nice. The Duke antenna's been painted, so still got a lot left to do, but it's really starting to come along and looking good. I'm really excited about it. I've seen in some pictures, and I don't remember if ours had it or not, but another antenna a radio antenna that comes from the front bumper. We might incorporate that. I took this off because I needed to do some adjustments. We got to get the wire attached to it as well. So we'll do that eventually, and it needs to be painted a little bit better as well. Also, I took it off too so I could paint this front bumper because I wanted it black. I wanted some contrast, more contrast with this than just the desert sand, or the Iraqi sand color is what it was originally painted as. I wanted some like black, and you'll see that were some Humvees that had this black bumper and black grill and stuff, so and black back bumper as well, which is what this one is painted. So all in all, I'm really happy with the way this is coming out. I think it's going to look really good when I'm finished. So yeah, we're just going to keep driving on. There was a 4-man crew or a 5-man crew per vehicle, and we're going to definitely shoot for that. I don't know if all 5 are going to be inside the vehicle, or if there's just going to be more of like a diorama setup where I do like this man down, where it's an injured soldier getting dragged, or what. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, where we go from there. But I've got a lot of soldiers that I can build and put together, so we'll see where we go from there. So far, so good. There we go. Now the 50 cal is loaded. It's got a double stack, so it does kind of simulate that this is a full box ammo. The ammo is actually bent, so it does look like gravity is kind of bending it down, and then it goes up into the gun, which is a pretty cool effect. I like it. I think it turned out pretty good. Awesome. Now it's time to start painting the figures that I have chosen for my Humvee crew. I've decided that some of the figures will not be inside the Humvee. I just didn't have enough that would fit inside it as far as articulated. So I've decided to have 2 of them outside the Humvee for the story in the diorama. At least that's the way I had it planned. And plans do change, which you'll see eventually. But we're going to go ahead and start the ACU pattern on them. I started out with a darker, like neutral gray base, and then I started using desert tan to make my markings, and I also used like an Iraqi sand color to paint the boots. Alright folks, we have all 5 members of the Humvee crew completely built and painted now, and I'm really excited about how they look. This is some of my best figures that I've painted so far, and I'm thrilled with them. They all have a little story to tell and what is going to be this really awesome model slash diorama. So grateful for this. and can't wait to get going on the next part of this, so stay tuned. Now that the Humvee crew was built and the Humvee itself was ready, it's time to do a clear gloss coat to get ready for some weathering. Alright, so I added some silver to each one of the rivets, and it really makes it contrast really well. And it looks good that way. That looks amazing. Super cool. Cool. Okay, so this is pretty much ready to get put together, get attached. I think we're ready. But before we do, I gotta get the TC, Vehicle Commander, put in first in his position. So for some reason, when I was installing the 3D printed cover over the turret, the footage didn't work, so I don't have that. But the 3D printed cover has been installed, and I'm adding some camo net over the top of it using some super glue, and it turned out amazing. Now I'm weathering the model. I'm using a little bit of Iraqi sand mixed with some other brownish color, I don't remember what it was, just to kind of give it a sand effect, and I'm dry brushing it onto the model using my eyes to kind of figure out how heavy I want it. I start with the bottom part of the model and really work it heavy, and as I go up further up the model, I make it a little bit lighter. I even add with a little bit of wet with some water mixture. I add some into the windows, kind of on the bases and along the edges, to give it kind of an effect of having some dust on the windows. And I also do some on the camo netting as well, and it really makes a great effect. Maybe I'll go into detail on that, how I do some of my dust effects with very little stuff, without buying like pigments or anything. I just use paint. Maybe I'll do that one day, but I'm not doing that in this video. But it really turned out great, and I'm really happy with how it looked. Now I'm using Vallejo Diorama FX dark mud, or thick mud, to put some mud on the tires and on the undercarriage and along the bottom of the Humvee. Contrary to a lot of popular belief, Iraq was muddy in spots, especially in my AO around northern Baghdad and the Diyala province, where it rained some and it was very moist because of all the rivers. It was very green. There was a lot of mud. So there was mud on vehicles, believe it or not. I've even read on Reddit that people were skeptical about mud, but I got pictures, trust me. It was very muddy sometimes. So I'm adding some mud. Not too much, but wait till you see the diorama and then you'll see a lot of mud. So that should be just fine. So next step is I have to re-put this guy back down because he came unglued, so stand by on that. Let's get this lifted up just a hair and make sure you get a good dose on him. Okay, we'll set him back down just like that. like that. They are quite dirty. Pretty okay with that. I think that'll work. Mostly dirty and muddy. Alright, let's do a varnish on the Humvee. So as you can see, we're finally at my new workbench, and it's time to add those final details to this build. I'm using a piece of orange fabric to make a reflective panel for the back of the Humvee. Next time I'll use something a little bit better. I've found something that works much better, but for now, this is what I'm using. Now I am adding the world's tiniest 50 caliber links and spent shells to the top of the Humvee and underneath the gun to make it look like the gun has recently fired. This was a very painstaking process because of how small these pieces were. They looked like dust on my workbench, but it was a really awesome effect. Okay, so I have added an additional radio antenna that comes out the bumper here on this side. Some Humvees in Iraq did have them. The 82nd Airborne Division, who we actually met up with in a place called Makisa at a combat outpost, actually had radio antennas like this, and they would actually take their traffic cones and stick them over the top of them back here, and that's a look that I'm going to be doing once I get these completed with painting. We're also going to have a reflective panel that goes over the back here, and then a danger stay back sign on the back tire as well, and that should for the most part finish out the look of this. I think I'd like to get a stretcher as well. I'll have to get that separate. I don't have one at the moment. I have to order one, but I think the stretcher will probably go back behind the tire, and the Duke and this antenna sit back here. I think will look pretty cool. But this Humvee is looking really good. I like adding the little extra details like the links and the spent rounds up here on the top from the 50 cal. Really makes it look cool, like they did fire some rounds off. And when I build the diorama and finish that, you will really see why I did it and what the story is behind this particular build. So let's continue getting some of this stuff put together. Now it's time to weather the new items that I had just added, such as the traffic cones and the new antenna and the reflective panel, and just touch up a few things that I needed to do for weathering to finish this piece up. Okay, it is time to mat our figures. I've already matte finished these figures. This one obviously we won't be using for this diorama. This one we will. He's already been weathered, matte finished. I might go over him just one more time because I think I weathered him a little bit more after I matte finished him. That's not a big deal. We got him all dirtied up and nice and nasty looking. We're going to go ahead and matte finish this guy, and then we're going to matte finish the finished Humvee and get that done. Now I don't know if that, it should be okay. I'm not going to spray the paper that much. I'll go light over the paper because I don't want it to get damaged. But this should finish out the Humvee, and then it'll be done before we mess it up for the diorama. But that'll be for another video. But I'll do a reveal here shortly. So let's get this matte finished. Alright folks, here is the finished M1154 enhanced armament carrier from Academy. This is in 1/35th scale, complete with a full Humvee crew. Also in 1/35th scale, painted in ACU camouflage. This is an amazing kit. I really enjoyed it. Now, of course, my kit also has multiple accessories because you guys know that at 11 Charlie scale modeling, I bend the rules. I don't take a kit that and follow all the directions. I like to make it my own and tell a story from the kit. So some of the upgrades we have on this kit, we have a rhino mount, we have an additional antenna mount on the back here, we have some traffic cones, we have a reflective panel, we have a custom printed turret cover, we also have camo netting on the top. We have spent 50 cal rounds as well as spent 50 cal links from the linked ammo up here on the top and on the hood. We also have concertina wire on the hood as well, and we also on the back of the Humvee have a danger stay back sign custom, which is really cool. Some of the other features that are period accurate to the 2005 to 2000, say 10, 11 ish time frame with the ACU guys. And this is something that I saw on gun trucks a lot. They would take their traffic cones and actually stick them over the top of their antennas like that, and that's how they stored them. Because the antennas were very flexible, they would just bend down and then they could just pull the traffic cones off. So I replicated that, just like what I saw in Iraq, which was very cool, and I wanted to replicate that. So we have traffic cones there on the added antenna. The antenna mount was added from the AFV Club extra or additional striker upgrades kit that I have had. I have 2 of them actually from building all my strikers, which was pretty cool. I also added an additional wire that runs from this box panel to the included antenna mount over here. We have our reflective panel, which is just an orange piece of fabric that I had. I'm going to see about maybe making these out of something that is actually reflective. I just didn't have anything at the time, and we may change this over sometime later on. I used Vallejo dark European mud to simulate some muddy terrain. This vehicle is not clean. It is very muddy. They've been in a very muddy environment, most likely the Diyala province, which is north of Baghdad, near the Tigris and Euphrates River, during kind of the rainy season of Iraq, which is also happened to be where I was at, which is also where we ended up relieving the 1st Infantry Division. So it was very muddy, very wet, very rainy, very fertile. We also have a vehicle commander inside here with his rifle slung and just hanging out a little bit right here. I thought was a pretty cool little detail inside. He's got his flag patch on his uniform. He is also talking on the radio, and you'll see why when you see the diorama that's being built for this. There's dust in the windows as well. The interior is dusty and dirty. There's a lot of mud on the front of this vehicle. The rhino mount is very dirty as well. All in all, really happy with this kit and happy with this build. I think it turned out really well. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of it. I'm really pleased with how this came out. I didn't use all the decals that were included. They had these little, like, I don't know, birds that go on the doors. Most of the Humvees in Iraq didn't have that. There wasn't a lot of decoration on the Humvees. They were quite plain, so that's what we did. I kept them quite plain. The figures are very, very cool for this kit that I built. Very period accurate to the time that I was in service in the global war on terrorism. They have combat patches, so 1st Infantry Division on the shoulder. This is a team leader, so he's been around a while. He's got a 1st Cavalry Regiment patch, as well as his flag patch on his right shoulder. Over here, he's a M203 grenade launcher gunner, which a lot of team leaders would carry. Sometimes they wouldn't. There'd be other guys that would carry them. These figures did not come with eye pro. They did not have any sunglasses. Hopefully you saw that in the video on how I made that with sculpting epoxy sculpt, and that is a very period detail that needed to be added. We were required to wear eye protection when we were out of the wire, so I wanted to make sure that my kit and my figures did that. There's a gunner also up in the turret as well. He does not have flag patches. Unfortunately, I forgot to put them on his turret, or on his uniform, unfortunately, so he doesn't have them, but you can't really see him that well anyway. He's really dark back up in there, so that's one detail that I forgot. Unfortunately, it is what it is. It's just how it ended up going. Another detail that I did, I made it look so that they did some modifications on their own vehicle, in that instead of the small 50 cal box, they actually used a 40mm grenade box and modified it to fit on the 50 cal machine gun box, and they used that to fill up a much bigger belt of ammunition, and it did fit. So that's what we've got on this. So it's a much bigger round. So that's why that's a bigger, just as an FYI for everyone to, if you're wondering why it's different than what the kit involved. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really like this kit, and I'm really pleased with it. Okay everybody, so that's going to do it for this video. This is the final video in this part of the series where we build the Academy M1154 Enhanced Armament Carrier Humvee with upgrades. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun building this. We put a lot of upgrades and a lot of work into this build, and added some much needed extras to this, and you're gonna see why coming up soon. We're building our very first diorama using this kit and these figures, and it's gonna be epic. I can't wait to share it with you. I've already been working on it and it's almost finished, but we got to do some more work on the Humvee. We're actually going to be destroying the Humvee a little bit. Not much, but some, to make this diorama look right. So I hope you guys will check that out soon and stick around. Please, if you guys enjoy my content, make sure you share these videos. It really helps out the channel as I grow. I am not your traditional modeler. I don't follow the rules. I don't follow the directions for the most part. I am a rule breaker. I try new things. I go with what feels right, and I do accurate accuracy. Accuracy is what I go for, I strive for in all things, especially when it comes to the global war on terrorism. I do a lot of research and I use a lot of memories from when I was in and a lot of reference photos and videos from when I was in to make sure that my kits and my figures look accurate. And that is something that I am very passionate about, because a lot of kit makers do not follow that rule, and a lot of kit builders don't follow that rule, and it just grinds my gears when I look at kits and the camouflage is terrible, it's off, it doesn't match what you're building and what you're going for when you're building dioramas. There's no patches, or the patches are completely off. It just bothers me. There's no eye protection. The guns are terribly inaccurate, like these kits are, that I fuss about them all the time. So with 11 Charlie scale modeling, we strive for accuracy when it comes to building these kind of kits. And we will build some other kits outside of the global war on terrorism as well, and we will still strive for the accuracy of those as well. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you know when I upload a new video. And one other thing I want to mention, I'm wearing this. This is my first time wearing this. This is a new apron that my wife made for me because she got tired of me ruining all my t-shirts with paint all over them. This apron is custom made for me. It's amazing, with my name embroidered. It has a combat infantry badge on it, and it says 11 Charlie scale modeling underneath. My wife has a business called 525 Designs. It's our anniversary. You can check her out. I'll leave a link to her YouTube channel in the link in this description. You can even see how she made this exact thing. I'll even leave that video link in the description. It's really cool. Check her out. She's awesome. And if you'd like one, you can give her a shout over at Instagram. I'll leave that link as well for you guys to follow. Big shout out to the wife for making this amazing, awesome apron. It'll really help out with my videos. Thank you guys again for watching. Appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you guys back on the workbench. Take care. If you would like to check out my other YouTube channel, Third Beard Fishing, I'll put a link in the description of this video. This is my other YouTube channel where I do a lot of fishing here in Central Florida, mostly saltwater, but sometimes freshwater too. I'd really appreciate your subscription. Thank you. Hello everyone. If you could, I'd love for you guys to check out my father-in-law's YouTube channel. It's a YouTube channel that I also edit videos for called Bearded Lumber. They are a full-service sawmill and kiln channel, and they are an amazing channel. I hope you guys will check them out. The link is in the description of this video, so check them out. You'll really enjoy this YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you for watching 11 Charlie Scale Modeling. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion, and subscribe here for more great content. Thank you.